Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything.
Diddy would be throwing all these celebrity nights out of the boss.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do documentaries and TV hits.
The entertainment world, with its dazzling allure and drama, has always been rife with rumors, accusations, and jaw-dropping exposés. But even in a place as accustomed to scandal as Hollywood, few revelations have caused a stir quite like the recent bombshell dropped by Katt Williams. Known for his sharp wit and unapologetic honesty, Williams has long embraced the role of a fearless truth-teller, one willing to expose the industry's darker side. However, this time he didn't merely glance behind the curtain, he ripped it down completely.
You know, there's a short life.
Why do you think that is with the creative side?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much to try and deal with life.
In a brutally candid interview, Katt Williams dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. His target? Kevin Hart, the self-proclaimed hardest-working man in showbiz and the golden boy of mainstream comedy. Known for his clean, relatable humor, Hart has built a massive empire. But according to Williams, that success may have come at a far darker cost. Williams didn't hold back, alleging that Hart was sold to the industry, suggesting his meteoric rise wasn't just the result of talent and hard work, but rather the outcome of behind-the-scenes deals and compromises that would make even the most seasoned Hollywood veterans squirm. At the center of the controversy is Sean "Diddy" Combs, a music mogul whose name is tied to power, wealth, and a growing cloud of scandal. Diddy has long been a dominant force in music, fashion, and entertainment, but recently, whispers about his alleged misconduct have intensified amid mounting legal troubles. Now, Williams's accusation that Hart was closely tied to Diddy during his ascent to fame has reignited the conversation, casting a new and unsettling light on both figures. The implication? That Hart's rise wasn't merely the product of talent and tireless effort, but a tale interwoven with choices and alliances that could threaten to unravel the carefully crafted public image he's maintained for over a decade.
I came here today just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false. Hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
Kevin Hart's rise has long been portrayed as a classic rags-to-riches story. The scrappy comedian from Philadelphia who clawed his way out of obscurity, endured hecklers in grimy clubs, and ultimately became a global superstar. He's been celebrated as the family man, the motivational speaker, the savvy entrepreneur who transformed his life into a brand. But as Katt Williams's explosive allegations continue to circulate, that carefully crafted narrative is beginning to feel more like a Hollywood script than a true reflection of reality. The cracks in Hart's armor, well, they've been visible for years, hiding in plain sight. From resurfaced offensive tweets to very public admissions of infidelity, Hart has weathered multiple controversies. Yet, he's managed to preserve his seemingly untouchable reputation by mastering the art of public contrition. His apologies have been polished, his comebacks swift. Each scandal has rolled off him with remarkable ease, as he kept churning out box office hits, Netflix specials, and brand deals. But Williams' claims shift the focus. Now, it's not just about Hart's missteps, it's about his associations. The question looming isn't simply what Kevin Hart has done, but who he's been aligned with. And that question threatens to unravel the very image he spent years building.
Look at Diddy, for instance. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at. He has videos. He has videos of parties. Now, what I've heard, which I don't know how much of it is in mainstream media, I don't follow the story that much. But what I've heard from friends that are attorneys, friends of mine that have represented me before, agents, so there's a bidding war.
and that's where Diddy steps into the frame. Once hailed as a powerhouse of music and culture, the longtime mogul now finds himself engulfed in a storm of serious allegations. Stories of extravagant parties, unsettling behavior, and accusations that go far beyond the realm of celebrity gossip. His recent arrest has only deepened the scrutiny, casting a long shadow over the empire he built and raising urgent questions about the true cost of his rise to the top. Fueling the speculation, old photos and videos have begun to resurface, footage that links Kevin Hart to Diddy's infamous gatherings. One clip in particular has gone viral. It shows Diddy, Hart, and R&B singer Usher in what appears to be a casual hangout. But it's not the setting that's caused a stir, it's the unsettling vibe. In the video, Diddy makes a comment widely interpreted as homophobic, followed by a bizarre story about his early days with Usher. Hart, seated nearby, offers a nervous laugh, his body language stiff, his discomfort hard to miss. Viewed through the lens of today's mounting allegations, that moment hits differently now. It feels more troubling, more revealing, and far harder to shrug off as harmless banter.
My brother right here from day one used to wake up and pause like 10 times.
Another resurfaced video, allegedly filmed at one of Diddy's notorious parties, shows Kevin Hart laughing as a woman's hair catches fire while she sits in a hot tub surrounded by candles. Once dismissed as chaotic, harmless fun, the footage now carries a far more disturbing undertone. The scene begs deeper questions. What kind of environment was this really? And more importantly, what else happened at these gatherings that never made it online? As these clips continue to circulate, the public's perception of Kevin Hart is beginning to shift. Once seen as untouchable, a symbol of grit, perseverance, and relentless positivity, Hart is now facing a wave of scrutiny unlike anything he's encountered before. While some fans remain fiercely loyal, others are demanding accountability. Why hasn't he spoken up? Why the silence from a man who's built a career on transparency and protecting his public image? Adding another layer to this already tangled narrative is actor Terrence Howard. In a recent bombshell interview, Howard revealed that he, too, had once been approached by Diddy with a proposition he described as deeply unsettling. Marketed as a golden opportunity, the offer came with unspoken implications. Accepting it, Howard said, would have meant crossing a line he refused to cross. He chose to walk away, fully aware it could cost him professionally. But for Howard, maintaining his integrity was a price worth paying. And now, with past footage, high-profile names, and chilling testimonies all converging, the question lingers louder than ever. How much of what we've seen has been real? And how much has been carefully staged to keep the truth hidden?
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the
Hell
consequence?
yeah. I mean, Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach. Go there and he's sitting around looking. I'm like, okay, you clearly want to work on it. He's looking.
Another video, reportedly filmed at one of Diddy's infamous parties, captures Kevin Hart laughing as a woman's hair catches fire in a candlelit hot tub. Once dismissed as wild, carefree chaos, the clip now strikes a very different chord. In light of the growing allegations, the moment feels ominous, raising uncomfortable questions about the true nature of these gatherings. What kind of atmosphere allowed something like this to be seen as entertainment? And more chillingly, what didn't make it to social media? As these videos resurface and circulate, Kevin Hart's carefully curated public image is beginning to crack. Once viewed as untouchable, a relentless force of positivity, grit, and comedic brilliance, Hart is now facing a wave of skepticism. While some fans continue to defend him, others are demanding transparency. Why hasn't he spoken out? Why? The silence from someone who has built a career on staying ahead of the narrative and fiercely protecting his brand? Complicating the picture further is actor Terrence Howard. In a recent interview that sent ripples through the industry, Howard claimed he too was approached by Diddy with a proposition he described as deeply unsettling. Though it was framed as a golden opportunity, the offer came with veiled expectations. Howard said accepting would have meant crossing a line he wasn't willing to breach. He walked away, fully aware it might cost him professionally. But for him, protecting his integrity was non-negotiable. Now, as more names, stories, and footage emerge, the spotlight grows harsher. The real question isn't just who was at these parties, but what they were willing to overlook to stay in the room.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
And just like that, the once impenetrable facade of Kevin Hart's meticulously polished public persona is beginning to crumble, brick by brick. But the shockwaves from Katt Williams' explosive revelations stretch far beyond Hart alone. They're exposing deeper cracks in the foundation of an entire industry, one propped up by secrecy, silent compromises, and a hidden hierarchy of power players who seem to decide not just who makes it, but at what cost. If Hart's alleged connection to Diddy casts a dark shadow over his rise, then the noise surrounding Diddy himself has grown from a low murmur into a deafening roar. With every breaking headline, every resurfaced video, and each unsettling leak, the illusion of glamour and control is wearing thin.
His place in the industry.
What we're witnessing now isn't just a controversy, it's a reckoning. One that's forcing the entertainment world to confront the uncomfortable truths it's long kept buried.
People I don't think realized was he had cameras all over the place, unbeknownst to him. And now he has all that footage, supposedly. This is what I'm told. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens if, you're a huge iconic, TV star or movie star, and you're in some very, very... Who's getting the money?
This isn't just a scandal, it's a reckoning. And perhaps the most jarring aspect of the growing list of allegations against Diddy is the sheer audacity of what's being described. In one Florida lawsuit, a man claims he was enticed to a lavish mansion under false pretenses only to wake up in a nightmare, forced into degrading attire and paraded around while a crowd of elite guests allegedly looked on. The filing doesn't pull punches. It names names. Hollywood A-listers, music icons, and celebrated athletes, sending tremors through the upper echelons of the entertainment world. Diddy's legal team has dismissed the claims as baseless and opportunistic, but the vivid, deeply unsettling accounts laid out in court documents have ignited a firestorm of speculation. And if even a sliver of it holds up under scrutiny, the consequences could be seismic. The lawsuits don't just cast a harsh light on Diddy, they raise urgent questions about everyone in the room. What did they see? What did they know? And were they silent out of fear or something far more damning? Adding to the growing inferno, another lawsuit alleges that Diddy's infamous parties weren't simply decadent spectacles, but highly orchestrated operations meant to control, intimidate, and suppress. One woman recounts being pressured into signing a non-disclosure agreement after enduring degrading treatment at a 2015 event. Her testimony paints a disturbing picture, an environment where power wasn't just flaunted, it was weaponized. According to the claim, handlers were on site, specifically tasked with preventing any damning evidence from ever reaching the outside world. If these allegations hold up, the fallout could reach far beyond Diddy, threatening to drag an entire web of powerful insiders into a spotlight they've long managed to avoid.
All lies will be exposed, that's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
And then comes the allegation that could shatter everything, the claim that surveillance footage exists. According to one lawsuit, Diddy's team didn't just orchestrate these high-profile gatherings, they allegedly documented them, secretly recording guests without their knowledge. The footage, the plaintiff claims, was later used as leverage, transforming private moments into tools for control. This is where the story veers from scandalous to deeply sinister. If true, it suggests that many of those in attendance may have been unknowingly caught in a web of blackmail,